Good morning, everyone. It is Friday the 26th, and we have made it to the weekend. Thank goodness, holy fazolies, we're done with this week. We just have to deal with the rest of the 38 or 24. Hell, I don't know. I'm not going to math. Thank you, Wolfram, for doing all the mod stuff. Welcome, Celestial Force, Squid Pro Quo. Nice to see you back. Sorry about the animated dramatic coughing sounds. My youngest one was made. I, in fact, tried to sneak some cookies and not have to bake cookies for everyone in the family, and then promptly forgot I put them in the oven. So I was, in fact, making the house smell of burnt cookies, which is always the best. Jason J, welcome. Tammy, good to see you. Hey, Joe, nice to see you. And Captain Kern. So, our first story is, what would make you dislike someone so much that you would fabricate a story with such implications that it could ruin your life, especially in the position he was in? Good morning, Nanny Goat and Tammy. I hope you're having a great weekend. Lady Sam, Aussie Modeler, thank you for joining. So, a Baltimore high school athletic director used AI to make a fake clip of the principal spouting ism and phobic language. Now, I mean, first of all, y'all know I don't have the tech skills to do this. I mean, there are some people in my HOA that I would love to hear singing Lady Gaga, but I would never use it for badness. I mean, I might superimpose them both on Sonny and Cher and, you know, or the Carpenters and be like, we've only just begun to screw your life. I don't sing, y'all. No. Good morning, Terry D. So let's get into this story because what an absolute dingus. This is the gentleman that apparently has more tech skills than I do and decided to take it out, whatever he did, on the principal. A Baltimore suburb high school athletic director allegedly used AI to impersonate his principal, spouting ist and anti-Semitic hate as part of a demented revenge scheme. Dazon Darian, 31, was arrested Thursday while trying to hop on a plane to Houston. Quote, from the very beginning, we have expressed our concern about disturbing audio that shook our community here in Baltimore County. That's because those words go against everything we stand for. County Executive Johnny Olszewski said in a press conference, hate has no place and no home in Baltimore County, nor should it have any place in our state or our country. And I do like to point this out when, insufferable people are trying to say that America is the worst country ever. I mean, if there is even a whiff of this, and Loki has stolen my chair, so he is motivating me to stand up. A hint of someone being hateful for outside intrinsic characteristics that you can't change. I mean, everyone is quick to condemn. If it's just not socially acceptable. So when people are like, oh no, it goes on, I mean, you cannot tell me, and I have studied some history, but I'm not a giant, voice of, knowledge on history. But, I think we've made really good things. I always tell my kids, how do we act to people? You treat them just like I want to be treated. And I was like, even if they look different than you? And they're like, of course, mommy. Like, duh. Well, then my youngest said, yeah, you be nice to everyone because you don't know what kind of candy they have. And I'm like, do not take candy from strangers. Please, for the love of God. Parenting, it's 3 steps forward and 17 steps back. The bizarre saga that started in January when disturbing audio of what sounded like Pikesville High School principal Eric Eiswert slamming students of color during a phony conversation with one of the school's assistant principals made rounds on social media. In the clip, the mimicked voice of Eiswert and and or said African American students were unable to, quote, test their way out of a paper bag, and that there were two Jewish teachers who should have never been hired at the school, according to charging documents obtained by 2WMAR. As a punishment, Iswart was temporarily removed from the school. He declared his innocence and told the police he believed that the audio clip was falsified using AI. Welcome. Thank you, H. Fred 65. Now, y'all know I don't know technical stuff, but I'm sure there is like a really cool computery thing where you can put the voice in and it says, yeah, it sounds a little bit like Bender pretending to be the principal. He even pointed to Darren as the suspect, telling officials he was technology savvy. So this is the man who nearly got his life ruined. Even more damning, there were conversations about not renewing Darren's contract for the following semester, following multiple work-related issues since beginning his role as athletic director in July 2023, including firing a long-standing coach at the school without approval and paying his roommate as assistant coach despite not working on any teams. Sir, if you want to be corrupt, do it in small little bits. We tend to notice if you start, corrupting all over the place. I mean, it's called subtlety. And welcome, Aussie Tank. Through their investigation, detectives alleged Mr. Darren, who was the athletic director at the high school, made the recording to retaliate against the principal, who lodged an investigation into the potential mishandling of school funds. Oh, well, yeah, I know we have all of this technology, which makes me wonder, as a political junkie, and I try to keep that out of this channel, what are the implications going to be for politicians? I mean, if you can use AI, and have President Biden doing a nice floor tumbling routine to Billie Jean from Michael Jackson, I mean, what else? What will get out there that the media isn't quick enough to say, hey, this is, AI, or what will they just, kindly omit was AI? Because most people only read the headlines of the news stories, and then, a couple people will read the first paragraph, and rarely do people finish an entire, article these days. We have the attention span of flies. The FBI and an expert from University of California, Berkeley, ultimately tied Darren to the simulated audio and to an email account under the alias T.J. Faust, according to his work email and others at the school. During an interview with detectives, Darren admitted to having issues with Iswart throughout his short tenure at the school. He was arrested Friday at BWI Thurgood Marshall Airport, where authorities were alerted to an improperly stored force multiplier in his bag. Officials said when they performed a background check, they discovered a warrant out for his arrest that Baltimore County officials had filed the night before. Whether he was trying to flee to Texas or making an unrelated trip is still unknown, according to investigators. He was charged with several charges, including theft, stalking, disruption of school operations, retaliation against a witness. He was released on a $5,000 unsecured bond. Baltimore County Schools have put forth a recommendation for his employment termination. Well, I'm glad that the union makes you put forth recommendation that we should fire this dude. I mean, daggone, what do you have to do to get fired as a teacher? I'm just asking for a friend. And is expected to bring back Principal Iswart now that his name has been cleared. But I mean, what if they couldn't figure this out? This poor principal would have been, tarred and feathered as something he wasn't. I know that there are good uses for AI, but just like everything that we've been trying to do this entire, seems like the couple last years, is we're trying to take big gulps of things and not process them quickly. Smaller bite, smaller bites. I I still think AI should be pitched into the burning eternal flame fire because oh my gosh, this is how Skynet starts. But I'm in the minority and I'm a hypocrite because I love being image maker. So, everyone's a little bit hypocritical. But it does make really fun Sharknadoes. It doesn't understand what a Sharknado is, but if you type in tornado with sharks in it with lasers on their head, they generally will get the point. I know it's only going to get worse, but it's Friday and we're happy. Ladies and men in the audience, do not get vampire facials. You could get, I kid you not, face aids. For the love of all that is holy. I didn't have face aids on my bingo card, nor did I have UFOs in, New York or young Hasidic men popping out of sewers. 2024, you incredible, crazy diamond, you shine on. But try to pace yourself. We've still got a bunch of months left, okay? The CDC describes the first known case of HIV transmitted via cosmetic injections. Yes, it is platelet-rich blood, I believe. Y'all, I don't make this stuff up. I just find it in the interwebs. So, I don't know what possessed. 3 women were likely infected with HIV while receiving so-called vampire facials at a New Mexico spa, marking them as the first known HIV cases transmitted via cosmetic injections. Yahoo News, please get a copy editor. I have to read this stuff. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said in a report Thursday, the first HIV case linked to VIP Spa in Albuquerque was discovered in 2018 and prompted the New Mexico Department of Health to offer free testing to anyone who got injections at the facility. The department said at that time the spa was shut down after its investigators, quote, identified practices that could potentially spread bloodborne infections. Yeah, why don't we just get face Ebola too? Or, the plague. Ladies, you are going to get old. It just happens. It happens to all of us. Look at it as a sign that you get to eat cheesecake while solving every single problem in your life, if the Golden Girls have taught us anything. And if Sophia taught me anything, is that you get to say whatever the heck you want, but people will just pat you on the head because, you're little and old. And then you can just torture your eldest daughter for the rest of your, collective lives. And I'm okay with that. Look, I am ready to bedazzle the hell out of some rhinestone pantsuits, so I'm okay with it. Sometimes. Then when the guy doesn't want to, card me when I'm going to buy booze, I'm like, sir, you will card me. Look, my fragile adult ego needs this. Please. The most recent case was a former client of the spa who tested positive for HIV last year, according to the health department, which led it to reopen the prior investigation. And welcome Kilobyte and Brenda Sorghum. I hope I said that right. I am terrible with names. That's why I brought on a co-host. And he stole my seat. Now the CDC provides new details about about the affected clients and the spa's practices. The first case was a middle-aged woman who tested positive for HIV in 2018, the CDC said. She had no history of street unlegal pharmaceuticals recent blood transfusions or any of the smexiness with someone who also carried the virus, but she did report getting a vampire facial. The second two were also middle-aged women who had gotten vampire facials in 2018. One was diagnosed with the earliest stage of HIV in 2019, the other in 2023 when she was hospitalized with severe symptoms. The CDC said the spa did not have appropriate licenses to operate and was using improper safety measures. A joint investigation by the CDC and New Mexico Department of Health found a rack of unlabeled tubes of blood on a kitchen counter at the spa. Oh, yeah, I put my, tubes of blood over here and my salami sandwich over here. And if I run out of ketchup, I mean, obviously, what are you going to do? For the love of all that is Cheetos, ladies, go. We're going to get old. You get grandkids out of it. You get to tell people to get out of your lawn. I mean, you get to be Tawanda if you want because you're older and you have better insurance. Stop poking yourself in the face with blood. What is wrong with you? As well as in the kitchen refrigerator next to food and injectables like lidocaine. Because, why not? Investigators also discovered unwrapped syringes in drawers on counters, discarded in trash cans. The spa's owner pled guilty in 2022 to 5 felony counts of practicing medicine without a license, the department said last year. NBC affiliate KOB of Albuquerque reported in 2022 that the owner was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison. The CDC and health department investigators ultimately determined that 59 spa clients may have been exposed to HIV. Of those, 20 had received vampire facials, a procedure also known as platelet-rich plasma microneedling. And that was the sentence you should have had at the top of this article where people tend to read. Because, most people, if you're not a gal or in the know, you don't know what vampire facials are. So in order to give context to the rest of your article, you should have put that at the top because not everyone knows. Me over here on a grammar rant, which I would like to point out to Zach, I am still a spelling and grammar outlaw. I just understand how you should put things together so that people understand things, and you shouldn't explain what a vampire facial is halfway through your article. So they inject the plasma into the face using tiny needles. So think like a tattoo gun. I've never had one. I don't know. People get vampire facials to plump up sagging skin, reduce the appearance of acne scars or wrinkles, but according to the American Academy of Dermatology, there is little evidence to support those claims. The AAD says the facials appear to be safe as long as the blood is handled properly. Well, striking a miss. Thank you so much, Linda Evers. And Celestial Force, I have heard collagen works really great. Squid pro quo, I'm super jealous because I have no eyebrows. They're light and I have to darken them up, and I feel like Groucho Marx half the days. I spend more time on my eyebrows than anything else, I swear to goodness. In addition to the 3 spa clients who contracted HIV, the CDC identified a woman who got multiple vampire facials there in 2018 and had tested positive for HIV 2 years earlier. However, the investigators said the original source of the HIV contamination at the spa remains unknown. So I think we all know what HIV is. The CDC said in its report that spa facilities offering cosmetic injections should require proper infection control practices. I mean, in all honesty, if you want to get these things done, there should be a hybrid medical / spa clinic where you have, nurses on board. No one ever knows how they're going to react to lidocaine or a bunch of needles poking them in the skin. I mean, people can develop allergies. If you don't know, you need to have someone there that is versed in what these medical contraindications are, and if someone starts to have an adverse reaction, can facilitate, help right at that spot. Now, that will make everything a lot more expensive, but I would rather go to a dermatologist to do this or a semitologist rather than just some chick who is off the street and said, "Hey, I'm opening a beauty salon." So, yeah, if you're in a salon and they do offer vampire facials, I personally would not get one. But if you want to get one, then make sure they do follow all proper, procedures. And I joke, but it's hard looking in the mirror and seeing things not where they used to be and wanting to look your best. So I understand the push for that. So he got, the owner of the salon got 3.5 years for practicing medicine without a license, but it doesn't look like anywhere else or anyone else from the salon was charged, and they're not quite sure where I'm not quite sure what they would do with that. To be honest, I don't know if they would think if you were an assistant or a tech and you were given, your job duties as the owner, would it be something that you still had, I guess, agency over? Or I am not a lawyer, but it does seem like everyone got off very lightly. Oh, well, see, they might have missed it. You know what? They fast forward through that bit of the YouTube tutorial and they were like, I guess we'll just take whichever ones we got available. Good morning, Lefty and Marlena Mars. Our next story is somewhat of an international story, but it does put a highlight on the TSA. And for the love of all that is holy, Oklahoma airport under TSA microscope after Turks and Caicos jailed dad found with ammo. So this father was going on a vacation with his family and he took a carry-on bag that was somehow able to go through security with, I think, several rounds of ammunition in it. Now, the TSA is getting dinged because how in the heck did they not find that? And he is being held in Turks and Caicos because they just, I think, passed his zero tolerance. But let's listen to the article instead of me making stuff up in my head, which is also possible. The TSA is investigating an Oklahoma airport after security failed to notice ammunition in a traveler's backpack that led him to be arrested in Turks and Caicos. Ryan and Valerie Watson, the parents of two young children, were flying home from their island vacation where they were celebrating a friend's 40th birthday. On April 12th, they were arrested at the airport because security found ammunition in Ryan's carry-on bag. Let's see here. Quote, "We are aware of an incident in Turks and Caicos involving a U.S. citizen and refer you to the State Department and law enforcement authorities in Turks and Caicos for more information." Dude, you are stuck in Turks and Caicos because we can't get daggone, the hostages out of the Mesopotamia. I think there's still people waiting in Afghanistan. Sir, you better have that one senator friend who will go into, use the helicopter to remove you, because holy fazoli. The State Department did not immediately respond to an inquiry from Fox News Digital. And I mean, look at this happy family. Now, life hack, always check your bag if it is indeed a hunting bag, that you use whilst hunting. Always double, triple check that. But the TSA should have found these things. They're the ones that make us, you know what? I think collectively, if we all start refusing to take our shoes off, because that's gross and you're in a public place and no one wants to walk with their bare feet or socks on cold linoleum. I think if we all collectively as a group of citizenry just stop doing that, FBI, I'm just throwing this out there. Don't be mad at me. I'm just saying, Mo would not have to take off her shoes and look at people's weird feet. Of all the indignities in the world, that's the one that really bothers me, walking barefoot in the airport. Not that I fly enough for it to be actually a reason, but there you go. Ryan and Valerie had their lives turned upside down when they tried to return home as a local airport security found 4 rounds of ammunition unknowingly left in a duffel bag from a deer hunting trip, a description on the family's GoFundMe page states. It was not noticed by TSA when leaving America. Now they're facing a legal system that's unfamiliar, daunting, and expensive that operates differently than the American justice system, the description continues. Valerie Watson was released from jail in Turks and Caicos on Tuesday. On Wednesday, the Royal Turks and Caicos Island Police Force confirmed Ryan Watson's arrest, saying the 40-year-old Oklahoma resident appeared in magistrate court where he was charged with 1 count of ammunition possession. He was also granted $15,000 bail and has since been released under the condition that he does not travel outside the islands without a court's permission. He surrenders his passport, reports to the Grace Bay Police Station on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and resides at a specific address. So not only does this man now have to find an apartment down there, he has to maintain bail, he has to do legal work. It's just crazy. And I'm pretty sure if we had a competent resident and chief, and look, y'all, I did not vote for the man, but I never want anyone to fail so badly at life. Any hoozle. We could call it, hey, Turks and Caicos, all that financial aid that we send you? Yeah, sounds about right. Yep. You got that? Okay. Well, you have one of our people, and we will just stop sending money until you send him back. So if you'd like to go, we can go. And then you hang up the phone. That's what President Mo would do. Now, technically, President Mo cannot, threaten to withhold funds because that's actually the purview of the Senate. But, I can make a couple inferences, if you will. The U.S. Embassy in the Bahamas issued a travel alert in September 2023 telling Americans not to bring ammunition to the islands. TIC authorities strictly enforce all firearm-related laws, the alert states. The penalty for traveling to the Turks and Caicos Islands with firearm, ammunition, or any other weapons is a minimal custodial sentence of 12 years. The embassy further stated that Americans should carefully check their luggage for stray ammunition or forgotten weapons before departing to the Turks and Caicos Islands. TSA recommends travelers begin packing each trip with a totally empty bag or suitcase to ensure they do not face consequences for having items deemed illegal in foreign airports. Since November 2022, 8 Americans have faced, quote, firearms prosecutions, end quote, for inadvertently having ammunition in their luggage, according to the Second Amendment Foundation. Again, this seems like failures on a lot of people. To be honest, yes, the onus is always on him to check his bag. But I can understand how chaos happens. You have 2 young kids, everyone's so excited to go away where it's warm and sunny and there's beaches. And maybe you just always use this duffel bag. So I get it. I just don't understand why the State Department wouldn't be like, y'all, we give you $100 gajillion and you don't want to. I wouldn't even say anything about foreign aid. I just say, hey, tourism's going to drop if you want to jail someone. I mean, there's going to be nothing but this guy's face and this pretty little family up on our news for a mistake. Come on now. You don't want to risk tourism. That's your main export. Bodybuilders are in trouble. Wait, did they do a bend and snap? Or was their jerk too hard? Oh no. It was a really dumb decision. Bodybuilders arrested after allegedly pointing long style force multipliers at a daycare during a photo shoot. Okay, never mind. These people done destroyed their lives with split squats. So these are the two in question. Though he doesn't look that big, but I can never tell by the necks. I'd be that awful, like sideshow crier, like, guess your weight. And I wouldn't want to make anyone mad. So I'd just be like, whatever you lied about on your driver's license. Welcome, General T. And MC Country Girl, welcome. And John Gary, hello. A pair of bodybuilders landed in jail after they allegedly posed for photos with, long style force multipliers in a parking lot in a Florida strip mall, which contained a daycare. The Miami-Dade Police Department arrested Australia Marie Pereira, 50, and Miguel Ruiz, 57, on Monday afternoon on charges of aggravated assault with a firearm and exhibiting a weapon on school property, records show. A mother who was picking up her child at the Devon Air Kitty College daycare called police around 4 p.m. when she saw a man, later identified as Ruiz, pointing a long boomstick in all directions, including towards the facility door, according to an arrest affidavit obtained by local ABC affiliate WPLG. Pereira took photos of Ruiz as he allegedly posed with the long boomstick. When cops rushed to the scene, they reportedly saw Ruiz kneeling in a firing position. Dude, you are lucky you were not made into a strainer. Holy fazolies. This is so dumb. You go out to a field. You go out not in a public area where we are so traumatized by the fact that if someone is going to do bad, things can go really, really bad, really, really quick. When I am the voice of reason, it scares me. It terrifies me, in fact, because I don't find myself a deeply serious person. Surveillance video. Okay, so when cops rushed to the scene, they told him to drop his firearm. He did. They immediately took the pair into custody. Surveillance video confirmed that Ruiz had pointed the rifle towards the daycare, because of course he did. Pereira and Ruiz were taken to the Miami-Dade County Jail, where they have since bonded out. The two were apologetic and claimed they did not realize there was a daycare. Why are you bodybuilding we're just in the bodybuilding world and we want to take some bodybuilding pictures like strong athletes. Doing what in a parking lot? Were you lifting cars, sir? Were you tearing the side doors off of little old ladies who had forgotten their keys in their car? I cannot. Funny story. So Mo Influence, I've started saying for the love of Cheetos in my daily life. I actually borrowed that from a friend because she used to say, for the love of Cheetos. And I just loved it. And I thought, for times when I want to curse on my channel but can't. And welcome dash 8 H and let's see, Squabob, that's it over on I was going to say, I was like the other one. What's that thing? I was like, help me, Loki. And he's like, I'm napping. Rumble. We promised we would never do anything to harm anyone. She said she does not live in the area and claimed there was no sign for the daycare center. All right, well, let's look at the video evidence. Nope, it's in pretty bright, bold, primary colors there. But okay, and all the little kiddo stuff on the front windows, you're like, they must sell kids. I have no idea. However, Google Map images showed the name of the daycare in block letters on top of the building, along with pictures of items such as backpacks, books, and crayons in the window. Well, Quote, I would have never ever done anything so ridiculous like this had I known there were children or any school in the area ever, she told the school or the TV station. Ruiz said it was a huge mistake. I'm sorry, he said, I didn't realize there was a daycare right there. Let me explain how lucky you people are. A mama, a papa bear, heck, even if you are in a grocery store parking lot, someone sees you with a long boomstick, just waving it around like Beavis and Butthead on, a Tuesday, you are lucky you did not get strainerated. I mean, Florida is now relaxing its laws on force multipliers. There, I mean, you're lucky that someone, read the situation and, decided you were just being numpties and they were going to let the police handle you. Thank you. And I got my new colored things in, so we're good. Taggies. So thank you, Tracy Fagan. I'm yeah, they both were just like, I'd never seen a daycare. I don't know what you're talking about. Good morning, Fraudette Wrangler. In sad news, but possibly a mystery unfolding, a man and dog are now missing after traveling on a wooden homemade raft in the Grand Canyon National Park. Nothing could have gone wrong here. I mean, a homemade Swiss Family Robinson style raft in the giant lake. Nope. Seems like it's going to go great. Oh, Lord. Officials are searching for a man who may have tried to travel down the Colorado River at Grand Canyon National Park with his dog on a wooden homemade raft, according to a press release from the National Park Service. On Sunday, someone found a vehicle belonging to the man they are searching for, 58-year-old Thomas L. Robinson. You did not make a Swiss Family Robinson craft and your name is Robinson. Sir, you are asking to be stuck somewhere where you have to make coconut like drainage and such. I would not tempt God, fates, or, the spaghetti monster, whatever you believe. I would just not test that with that. Seems like, like me, signing up for like a cheerleading competition. I cannot do a cartwheel. There are things that I've grown and accepted in my life. Maybe having a daggone wooden... On a serious note, I hope they find him and the little doggo and, everyone is safe. He just was going out adventure thrill seeking. Oh, no, you are fine. Fraudette Wrangler, you are totally fine. No, it is. You are totally welcome here. Everyone is welcome here. This is a drama-free for everyone kind of place. And you know what? Everyone makes a lot of mistakes, and maybe you got caught up in some stuff, but you've also changed and become someone that takes a very, good looks at things, I think, and you don't shy away from it. And I just want my channel to be a place where people can relax and have fun and, talk about people making wooden rafts to go down rapids, because holy God, why? Yes, for the love of Cheetos, flippin' flapjacks, there's nothing more proud a moment when your 8-year-old says, damn it, the effing thing fell down. And I'm like, oh, maybe I do curse too much. See, personal growth. I don't think that any of us are asked to be perfect, but I definitely do think that every one of us, should own our stuff, but then move on from it. And if people want to keep bringing up your past stuff, then ask them what their past is holding them back from. Because it's usually a deep, deep discomfort with something we're dealing with when we want to point something out at others. I don't know. I only watched Dr. Phil like twice. He annoys me. Although, new Dr. Phil, new and improved Pokemon Dr. Phil, I don't know. I may be listening. Let's see here. On Sunday, someone found a vehicle belonging to the man they were searching for. Okay, let's see if they have a picture of... It looks like he does... Is that the raft? Oh dear Lord, someone done took cabinet pieces from the 1970s and put them together. In fact, I think my grandma had a couple things that looked about like that. Oh dear Lord. Well, and this is a picture of the gentleman. So if you live near, the Grand Canyon, keep an eye out. Authorities say Robinson is a white male standing 5'10", weighs about 160 pounds, and has brown hair and hazel eyes. They ask anyone who might have seen him to call the Grand Canyon Dispatch, and there's a number there. I am sincerely hoping that this wasn't the raft that he was going to go down the Colorado River in. I mean, I've only seen River Wild with, oh gosh, what's her face? The one that gets all the Emmys. Anyhoozle. Not Glenn Close. Anyhoozle, that one chick and Kevin Bacon, but I'm pretty sure this isn't going to happen. I could be wrong. In a bunch of stories that would make Valhalla a very happy kid dad, we have Hoofed Hilarity, 5 Odd Tales of Goated Goats. Welcome, Shizzy Raid, JKD Buck. We are Meryl Streep. I was like, I know there's a name in there. Thank you so much, Draft Gal. This is a goat bunch of stories, and oh my gosh, this is a segment that Valhalla will have to watch later. And welcome, Shizzy welcome, Shizzy Raiders. I was like, Rooters? Roto-Rooters? What's going on? I know, if I were ever going to get another dog, I'd probably get a Corgi, but I'm just not there yet. And Wilford, the Catford, is a good guy. The UPI Odd News headlines often play host to animals including bears, alligators, cows, and snakes, but only one animal can truly be called the greatest of all time, the humble goat. Whether they're climbing bridges, hitting the highway, or overrunning an Italian island, we here at UPI can't get enough of these majestic creatures, and neither, we can assume, can our readers. With that bold assumption in mind, here are 5 examples of goated goats doing whatever it is they do best. The goats, take my goats, please take them. The goats that have occupied the island of Adeleuci in Sicily's Aeolian archipelago have become a tourist draw since the wild population was established about 20 years ago, but the island's mayor said the happy honeymoon has now become a horned horror. Mayor Ricardo Gullo said the goat population is now 6 times the island's human population of about 100. Leading the bleeding blighters to invade residents' homes and gardens. To reduce the overpopulation, Gullo introduced an Adopt a Goat program, allowing any island visitor to come take a goat for free aside from the $17 processing fee. Anyone can make a request for the goat. It doesn't have to be a farmer. There are no restrictions on numbers. So there you go. If you need goats, you'll have to fly to Sicily. I'm sure there's going to be some, custom stuff, but there you go. $17 goats. One gruff goat. Let's see. Firefighters and animal rescuers teamed up. You should be able to see this if it not hear it because, let's see, teamed up in Kansas City, Missouri when an escaped mountain goat made his way onto East 63rd Street and Lewis Road Bridge to do what he did best, climb. I'm over here, I white knuckle it across bridges, and this goat's like, nah, it'll be fine. The goat, initially identified as Jeffrey, ended up stranded on a ledge located underneath the roadway, but still about 80 feet above ground. A civilian rescuer managed to get a rope around Jeffrey, but when the firefighters rappelled down to reach him, he jumped to another ledge and missed. You done? Well, I think Jeffrey's okay. Jeffrey was suspended from the rope for a short time before falling to the ground, where padding had been placed to ease his landing. The resilient goat was not injured. The goat saga took one more unexpected twist when it turned out his original name was Chug, and he'd been stolen from a farm in February before ending up in the shelter where he was adopted and renamed Jeffrey. Officials said the dual-named goat would be returned to his original owner. Oh my gosh. Unauthorized goat parade in Arlington, Texas neighborhood descended into horn-headed havoc. Let's see if you can see this. When a herd of 20 goats came marching down the street to feast on their gardens. The Arlington Police Department said the goats were employed by the city to clear plants such as poison ivy and poison oak from the Crystal Canyon natural area, but somehow they managed to get out of their fenced enclosure. Officers and animal wranglers responded to the scene to round up the hungry herd and return them to the natural area. I can't promise plants weren't eaten. Just to... Oh, well, the body cam should show goats at some point. Oh, there they are. The angles are... Wait, can I get a bunch of goats to take care of my back, forested area? That dog is like, I am Doug, and I told you to go this way. Every dog has a Doug voice. I just know it. It is the truth because I believe it. Firefighters in Glendale, Arizona. Why? Make it make sense. My mom has goats. So she had a bunch, and I think they're down to 2. But yes, I have. The boys are immensely excited when they get to go over and feed the goats leftover popcorn. I think my mom just doesn't want to use a garbage disposal, to be honest, because I think those goats eat all the leftovers. I have not had goat milk. I think they just got goats because they wanted them, because I asked if they were going to milk or make any butter or anything like that, and they were like, no, we just want to look at goats. I was like, okay. Hey, I put on funny wigs and do stuff on, just talk on the internet, so... firefighters in Glendale, Arizona said Goat on the Roof may not be the name of a new Broadway musical, but it is occasionally part of their job. The Glendale Fire Department said crews were called to lend a helping hoof when an adventurous goat ended up a little too high up on a home. The rooftop rodeo showed firefighters climbing up a roof to bring the goat back down to earth. The grateful goat was reunited with its owner. I don't know. He seems a little pissed off right now. I want that. I want, I want that musical now. I really do. British or police on British Columbia's Quadra Island said a witness called reporting hearing someone repeatedly shouting, "Help!" and they feared someone had fallen off a cliff or was injured. The RCMP's report stated further investigation revealed that the help heard was actually a sad goat from a neighboring goat farm. Aww. The farmer explained to the police that the goat was a mother and she was calling out for her babies. Officers did note on the scene that the cries did sound similar to someone yelling for help. The RCMP said, thankfully officers confirmed all was well and nobody besides the mama goat were in any kind of distress. So there we go. We have our weekly goat stories. And what in the Y2K is going on here? You cannot, no, you are not reinventing it. You are simply stumbling upon what we threw away. As a Genlennial, I would like to point this out. You are not allowed to say you create MySpace type stuff. We did it first, we threw it away. I would just like to point it out there. So you're digging through our garbage, young people. Gen Z recreates MySpace as no space, and there are 380,000 people waiting. Gen Z is turning back the digital clock. Tiffany Zhang spent the last decade studying social media habits and used the information to create the Gen Z version of MySpace, called No Space, called No Alibis, because everyone is going to record their crimes all on it. I can't wait. They'll be like, is this your No Space with you and a picture of the weapon next to the victim on the floor over there? Is this where you hatched out your schemes? Just, no. Y'all, this is not original. Stop stealing my stuff. On top of going to school virtually during the pandemic, the Zoomer generation has grown up in peak social media with algorithms dictating what they see and who they interact with. Now they're turning away from the standard social media in search of a more authentic connection that can't be found at TikTok. Have you tried, and I know this is going to sound radical, but stick with me. Stick with me. Hang on. Okay. These things can be put down. And you can talk to another human. I'll wait a second for it to sink in with you. But there's a more authentic police. For the love of all this holy. Gen Z are simply sick of the same old when it comes to social media. Katya Varbanova said in a marketing strategy consultant. Zhang, who is 27, is hoping that No Space will give Gen Z a similar social media experience to the one millennials had, for better or worse. Dear Daily Vlog, I love everything. Or, why are my groceries $10,000? Can I get a gallon of milk for less than $5? If things are going to be so expensive, can we start adding extra features, like the milk puts the lid on itself? And Giraffe Gal, we are all here for you. I am so sorry. I do not know how rough it is, but hopefully, these videos on YouTube, they just take your mind off of it a little bit. I know it doesn't really stop anything, but sometimes having something funny on can be, a good help. Good morning, Chris Rowland. And T. Underwood, if I didn't say hi yet, hello. What we see right now is all social media is just media. It's not social anymore, Zhang told Bustle. Everyone is ogling at everyone else's lives and personality, but no one's engaging in them. Again, this is a scary concept, but it's called going out with your friends, putting the phone down. And yes, you aren't going to have a 900,000 subscribers, but you might get like 4 or 5 really good friends. Think about it. That's the problem we're solving: connection with others and self expression. No, we are expressing ourselves way too much. Look, I know way too much about random strangers that they put on the internets than I ever should ever know. For the love of goodness, I shouldn't know that the former nuclear waste guy liked to be a puppy on personal times and stole, women's clothing. I shouldn't have to know that. But it gets TikToked out anyway. No Space users will be able to share what they are watching, eating, reading, listening to in real life and star their interests to allow them to find people with similar interests. Yes, the new app will list a user's closest friends, just like MySpace Top 8. Oh Lord, we're going to start, y'all, you're giving girls a rating system for friends. Be prepared to see no space violence, okay? And allegedly in Minecraft, but this the first time you are not on a top 8, someone's going to get all the Twitter pated. For the love of all that is holy. Aw, it's remember your first kiss day? Mine was not romantic. It was middle school and spin the bottle, and we used hot sauce, and so it broke, and then we spent half the time trying to pick it up so the parents wouldn't notice. And when you just smear hot sauce with a paper towel instead of cleaning it up with Lysol, it generally just smells like you poured hot sauce. So all the romance. And he kind of smelled like salami. And I was unsure if you were supposed to breathe or not. It was weird, but it's a story to tell. Let's see here. And yes, the new all these other apps these days, it's just algorithmic. Lots of posts get pushed down if you don't get engagement, Zong said. No Space is being likened to a giant global group chat by those who have tested the app, especially with the separation of friends only, curated by yourself, of just your friends, and a chronological global feed with every active user in real time. They're craving new experiences mainstream apps aren't able to produce. Varbanova said, add information overload to that, and the calm paranoia can lead to anxiety, eating disorders, and mental health struggles. Again, that's why we put these things down and we start talking to each other. And we talk to our kids and we ask them if they're okay. And, you just do check-ins and you make sure that we can function in a society because we are social creatures. Yes. For the love of... I hope this works out. I hope kids get more engagement, but I also hope that kids just start doing stuff in real life. Now, the only running I will ever do in our final story, a runner gulps down 25 glasses of wine during the London Marathon. I'd probably run that if I was promised that much wine. Well, towards the end, I'd just be singing Pink songs like I had Pink's voice and possibly pretending I knew how to dance. But I would have attempted a marathon. He crossed the finish line. Y'all, no joke. I for serious thought that was a chick. Okay. It's the hair. It's beautiful hair. It's beautiful. A wine merchant raised the bar for boozers and runners alike after blind tasting 25 glasses of vino during the London Marathon, nearly one for each mile. The Sommeliers running performance currently boasts 3.9 million views on TikTok. Quote, I was totally exhausted, totally cooked, but it was such a great day. Tom Gilbey, who runs a wine business, told The Guardian of his grape accomplishment. New York Post, the puns, come on now. Known as the wine guy on TikTok, the Brit frequently films himself doing various tipple taste tests and demonstrating how to get the best wine for your buck. Look, if I'm feeling fancy, I'll get one with a real cork in it that's not in a box. For his latest feat of hepatic fortitude, the Vintner sprinter decided to run the London Marathon to raise $2,487 for his Sobel House Hospice charity in Oxford, which cared for his mother during her final days. So far, they've raised over $16,000. Congratulations, sir. Thank you for, paying it forward and giving other families, comfort in that just terrible time. That being said, I'm still going to make fun of your hair, and I thought you were a chick. But that's more on me than you, sir, so have fun with your wine. Look, that's the other thing, guys. I was so worried I was going to, possibly say this was a dude instead of a chick or something. I want to be a nice person. I just honestly can't tell sometimes. Oh, for the love of goodness. As an added challenge, the multi-flasker, that's it, I'm stealing that, the multi-flasker, decided to sample a glass of wine for every mile of the run, along with guessing the drink's variety, country of origin, and vintage. Shiraz, Australia, 2022. Ghibli correctly guessed after sampling one of the glasses, which were handed out to him en route like water. Of the 25 glasses, he reportedly got 7 100%, 4 completely wrong, and the remainder mostly right, meaning he might have missed one of the criteria. Nonetheless, this feat was especially impressive given that the samples ran the gambit from gas station offerings to $50 bottles of Barolo. He does have really good hair. I will give him that. Ghibli reportedly finished the race in 4 hours and 41 minutes, which is, 4 hours and 41 minutes faster than I would have finished a race. Which he celebrated by drinking a glass of champagne after the finish line and promptly Ralphing. That's what I would do. The Brit felt that the wine paradoxically made the 26-mile plus race feel not so, giant. Quote, it was hilarious because when you're overtaken by a fridge and double-humped camel, you can get really depressed unless you knew there was a nice wine around the corner with some friendly faces to support you. Despite boozing while cruising, Ghibli claimed the agony of running made him feel nothing but the urge to finish, joking it was a great way to stay sober. Nonetheless, the grape enthusiast said he purposely avoided downing all the offerings in order to avoid passing out mid-race, explaining if they were good, I might swallow it, and if they were bad, they went on the road. Needless to say, TikTok viewers were impressed by his literal drinking marathon. Quote, this man drank 26 different wines and still managed a sub-5 marathon. Let that sink in, gushed one fan. Another wrote, being a marathon runner and a sommelier are two of the most pretentious hobbies, but I absolutely love this guy. They are a bit pretentious, aren't they? All the back labels said they pair wonderfully with some cheese or gentle marathon, quipped a third. Ultimately, Gilby is glad he could get sauced for a good cause. It's incredible and it's great because that's what it's all about, he said. And it's for great charity, and they're one of many hospices that just work their socks off to make massive differences. While the runner claims that he'd 100% never partake in such a challenge again, he encourages, quote, everyone to have a silly idea for a good cause and see what happens. Gilby's booze run might be impressive, but it pales in comparison to this Chinese grandpa who ran a 26.2 mile marathon in 3.5 hours while smoking cigarettes. And we saw that article. I think we covered that article. because he was just there just a smoking, just just chain smoked the entire way through. I'm only laughing because if I tried to do half a mile, I'd be like, I'm out. Take me. I'd be, fainting in Mr. Moe's arms, like, the sweet chariot of the Lord has taken me home. And he's like, ma'am, you just went up and down the stairs two times. I feel the light coming for me. So dramatic. I wonder where my son gets it. I totally am a drama queen sometimes, but only when it involves running, and who really wants to run? Other than people who like to run, and that's fine. We're just confused. I hope you all have a lovely Friday. I won't be seeing you possibly this evening unless I get invited somewhere. I will be doing possibly, Stabby Day tomorrow with Baker, and then we will be having Legal Shenanigans Theater with the ending of the opening statements, and then on to our first witness in the Chandler Halderson case. So I've definitely got to think up some names for what a movie can. I guess what we're having for dinner, or guess who's coming to dinner, is probably going to be the title name of that. Because I'm all sorts of twisted. But if you like that sort of humor, then, come on by and I'll save you a nice seat in purgatory. We're all just aiming for that. Have a wonderful Friday. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. And I am sending you over to Baker, I believe. So they are doing something with the Karen Reed case. And I will see you in a little bit, guys. Bye. Oh, doggone it. Where did I am not allowed. I need an assistant. Any hoozle. Real bye this time. Bye, guys.